Sox fans waited so long to have a team win the World Series.
The bases are loaded. 88 long years.
It's the longest game in World Series history.
Score in the eighth. The 1-1 pitch.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Jenks, Uribe,
when they always talk about like the greatest teams and all that, we never get mentioned. I'm like, 11-1 is pretty good, you know? I think in like the South Side, everybody's got a job, everybody works hard. It's tough. So I think they can sense when they have a group of guys that are doing it the right way and they're kind of paying the price the right way and doing it with integrity. I had played there 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Some expectation at the beginning of the year that it could be a good year, and 2000 definitely accomplished that, but 2001, 2, 3, we didn't really do much and it kind of wasn't really going anywhere.
I'll say that from the moment Kenny Williams took over as GM, the sort of overall ethos was to do everything in our power to win a world championship as quickly as possible. Obviously, there were some more notorious World Series droughts in the game with Boston and with the Cubs at the time, but back when we started in 2001, it had been 84 years or something like that since the last White Sox championship. And, Kenny really had the mindset that it was essential that we win quickly.
We were taught some very, very tough lessons by the Minnesota Twins. Their players said, that White Sox team over there has more talent than we do, but we're going to beat them. That's about the time Ozzie Guillen coined the phrase piranhas. We may have to make some moves going into the 2005 season to bring those type of gritty players in. So we made some roster moves that weren't too popular at the time, and the rest is history.
We were definitely starting from zero.
I was working for the Marlins. I was in the playoff against the Cubs.
Ground ball in the hole is short. And bobbled by Gonzalez, and everybody's safe. The Florida Marlins, for the second time, are going to the World Series.
I remember having dinner with Jerry, nothing about managing. We talk about the team, talk about the Cubs, Marlins, what I was thinking about it, this family thing. Jerry told me, say, well, okay, we're going to hire you as a manager. We'll talk about contract later, whatever, but we want you to manage the White Sox. And I got quiet, I don't know, I was shocked, numb. I was ready to manage, especially in Chicago. This is the place see me growing up. I want to be manager in Chicago, of course. The 2004 roster was great players. Oof. Carlos Lee, Mario Ordonez. I had a meeting with Kenny. I said, we need more speed.
Traded Carlos Lee and let Magley Ordonez walk that same winter.
We wanted to create a balanced team with a balanced offense, balanced defense, and pitching leading the way. Bringing in more people that grind every day, that would sacrifice for their teammate, that will move runners from second to third and give themselves up, was missing. It's not going to resonate with people, but what will resonate is winning. Winning always resonates with people. And at the end of the day, it's what gets you hired and gets you fired. In Podsednik, we needed a guy to start the offense. We wanted to score first.
And so I remember I came over, Kenny and I had a conversation. He said, look, I just need you on base. Don't worry about hitting home runs. I need you on base and creating havoc. So kind of got back to my strengths and what I felt I could do as a player.
I think Jermaine Dye was noticeable very early on, and just in terms of he's a really good player, that's a great clubhouse guy.
Arriving to a new club, didn't really know what to expect, still kind of getting my feet wet and just trying to fill out everything. I knew a bunch of the guys already, so that made it a little bit easier for me to come in there and just kind of be myself and see where I fit in.
Uribe's one of my favorite players of all time, if not my favorite player of all time. I mean, the guy played as fearlessly and without hesitation as any player I've ever seen. Just, kind of like the model for just no fear and just kind of letting it all hang out every game.
I went into Jerry Reinsdorf's office and I said, hey, I think I got a solution for this second base problem we have. He says, oh yeah? Well, what do the scouts say? Yeah, no, none of our scouts have seen him. What do you mean none of the scouts have seen him? He says, well, and he knows I'm huge on video. He says, so you've seen him on video? I said, yeah, I've seen him enough. He says, well, what does that mean? I said, I've seen him enough to make the decision that he is a fit.
2005年までは8年間福岡の大ホークスというチームでプレーをしていました。チームとしては3度のリーグチャンピオン、そして2度の日本シリーズチャンピオンになりました。個人としては3度のベストナイン、ゴールデングラブ、そして2度の盗塁を獲得することができました。はい、いろんな球団からもオファーいただいたんですが、シカゴというアメリカの中でも大都市でありますし、家族も一緒に来るということで、日本人コミュニティがしっかりとしているところ、そして何よりもやっぱり MLB の全球団の中でホワイトソックスのユニフォームが一番かっこいいと思ってたので、ホワイトソックスに行きたいなと思いましたね。はい。
I'm sitting with Jerry Reinsdorf at a coffee shop. I said, hey, there's a problem. This guy, Pierzynski, fits what we're trying to do. Not the most popular guy, but that kind of bring it to the ballpark attitude, every day grind it out. We need that on this team. He's going to get under some people's, crawl, but so what? But we got a problem because we just signed one person that just played with him. And
I think he was the first one to say that when AJ's in that other dugout, you hate him. And when he's in your dugout, you hate him a little bit less.
And we don't know how to fix that. Plus, I don't know if AJ really, wants it like it looks like it. In any case, Jerry says, well, Hawk Harrelson, I think, lives in the same community as AJ. So I called Hawk, and I said, Hawk, here's what we're dealing with. I don't know if he fits. I don't know if he's going to want to, kind of assimilate to what we're trying to do. And Hawk cut me off and said, I'll be back. I said, where are you going?
I'm going downstairs.
I'll let you know. AJ's got a good heart. He's a good guy, but I'll make sure that he knows that don't come in here and disrupt anything. So he cut me off, got off the phone, went around the corner, and he and AJ had a heart-to-heart.
Hawk had always wanted me to be a White Sox, and it took some convincing, but eventually we got it to work out, and it was a great fit. And plus, I got to play against Minnesota 19 times after they had traded me away, so it was always an added bonus.
Hawk calls me back and says,
I just saw him.
Everything's all right. You got him in your stable, big partner. I'm like, okay, well, let me call his agent. If it weren't for Hawk Harrelson, I don't know that we make that move.
Paul is one of the ones, he and I would talk about this all the time. It was, okay, who do we have throwing tonight? Burley, Garland, Contreras, or Freddie, Duque. Yeah, like our chances.
For me personally, it was comfort. That was the first time in my career I'd probably thrown to a catcher more than 20 times in a year. I'd always been getting different catchers throughout the year, and I'm huge on that. If you put me into a situation where I'm comfortable, you're gonna get the best out of me.
Hey, this is what I throw. I have confidence in you. I have to put the signs down.
He gone! A White Sox winner! 1 hour and 39 minutes.
I play for the other manager, but the confidence we have with Ozzy, he let you play, he let you pitch. Fair inning, I'll give up 3 runs. I know he don't want to take me out. That's why we win a lot of games. Because it was, it was like the confidence he had for everybody.
El Duque es como un hermano. Es como un hermano, uno de los mejores pitchers en la historia del béisbol cubano. Uno de los mejores pitchers cubanos que ha pasado por el béisbol de Grandes Ligas. Pero la gente no conoce la clase de persona que es. A mí en lo personal me ayudó muchísimo. Recuerdo que yo no comencé muy bien la temporada 2005. Tenía 2 ganados, 4 perdidos. El Duque me dice, lo único que tienes que hacer es lo mismo que hacía en Cuba, tirar la bola por el medio. Comencé a pichar más al medio de home y ahí fueron donde vinieron los resultados del 2005.
I always say that when you're a manager, you had a good wife and good bullpen, your life is set. And did it to Neil Katz. Nobody talk about Neil Katz. Police, they don't remember Hermanson. Vizcaíno, Marte, that also was a good pitcher.
The first day of spring training started with me meeting Bobby Jenks. I said, let's go take a ride. So we're driving through the backfields, just he and I'm pointing guys out to him saying, this guy right here's gotten a second chance. This guy's gotten a second chance. This guy's gotten a second. They've made the most out of their careers and their lives. You now, coming from the Angels organization, you're getting second life here and a judgment-free zone. Whatever's happened in the past, whatever people have said, it doesn't make no difference here.
You know, in that conversation, he said he likes to think of themselves as the Raiders of baseball.
I grew up a Oakland Raider fan, and Al Davis with the Oakland Raiders. Al Davis was known for giving people second chances. I saw that as a kid in Oakland, and thought that if I were ever in the position, I'd be the same way.
It didn't matter what happened prior, and it was all about what I'm going to do today and what's better for me tomorrow.
I told Bobby in that drive that if he goes down to Double-A and pitches for 2 months without incident and just have fun, let your talent come out, have fun, I'll bring him back, and ultimately he'll be closing for the Chicago White Sox.
And this ball game is over, so Bobby Jenks comes on. Strikes out 2 in his major league debut.
A lot of those guys in that team came from somewhere that they were kind of pawned off, you know, and there was kind of like a misfit somewhere and came in. So they came in ready to work, and everybody was just down to earth and just a good, hard-working guy.
Tareiro, which you never played in the United States. Uribe, he never played shortstop every day for anybody. And then Creedy, he was a kid. We don't have a superstars, we don't. But we got guys, I told them what we want, what we need, who are young, what I expect from them.
Try to just be Scott Podsednik, no more, no less.
I was supposed to catch the ball, throw the ball, move the ball around.
入団の時に2番として井口はこのチームを引っ張っててくれっていうことを言われたので、自分の役割としては、しっかりチームに貢献できて、かつね、オジにそういう言葉をいただいて、本当に自分自身が救われたなと思いますよね。
It's a club he wanted on paper, but the question is, how are those guys going to get along? You know, you still have to go out, respect one another, pull for one another out on the field, so that was kind of a big question mark.
We have a team, from the first day, those guys come out of the gate and be a team.
Before and after the games, everybody hangs out together. It's more of a team instead of individual like it's been in previous years.
They went out like with the different animals. It was fun to even manage.
Cuando nosotros estamos juntos era un solo idioma el que se hablaba, béisbol, béisbol.
And again, you see the difference in the way that they play the game.
Get up, and well you can. Put it on the board. Yes! Line shot, home run by Jermaine Guy.
We were all out one night in Baltimore. Me and Creedy and Rowan were in the hotel bar. For some reason, Creedy or Rowan yells up,
Joe says, play some effing Journey.